Hey everybody, it's Sam here from Sugar Spun Run, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Funfetti cookies. These sprinkle Funfetti cookies are so colorful and fun to make. They taste like a chewy, sweet, drop sugar cookie, and I think you're really going to love them. To get started, the first thing you're going to need is 1 cup of butter. You're going to want to go ahead and microwave this in a large, heat-proof bowl. And it's really important that you let that butter cool for at least 5 to 10 minutes or until it's almost back to room temperature before you add any more ingredients. If it's too hot, when you add your sugar, you're going to melt your sugar. You're going to have a greasy, runny cookie dough that's never going to bake up into pretty Funfetti cookies. So make sure that butter has cooled. Once it has cooled, we are going to add 1 2/3 cup of granulated sugar. Stir these together until the butter and sugar are nicely combined. We're also going to add 2 large eggs, and you do want these to be at room temperature. You don't want to shock that butter that we just melted by adding cold eggs to it. And for flavor, we'll add 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. We'll just stir these together. Now set this aside, and now you're going to need a separate medium-sized bowl, and you're going to need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. We'll add 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt, and whisk or stir your dry ingredients together until they're very well combined. Now we're going to gradually add the dry ingredients into our wet ingredients, just stirring until everything is completely combined. I'll usually add the flour in about 3 or 4 parts because I found that if you add it all at once, the dough is going to be really difficult to mix and it's going to be a lot harder to get everything well incorporated. Once your wet and dry ingredients are combined, now you can add your sprinkles. So you'll need about 5 tablespoons of your favorite sprinkle for this recipe. What I like using is about 3 tablespoons of traditional sprinkles, or I guess they're called jimmies in some places, and I also like to use 2 tablespoons of nonpareils. The nonpareils just have a kind of different texture. They add a little bit of crunch. I just really like using them in Funfetti cookies. And you'll just want to stir these in until they're well incorporated into that batter. Our Funfetti cookie dough is going to need to chill in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. You're going to want to cover your bowl with a piece of plastic wrap. And then we'll transfer this to the refrigerator. So your dough can sit in the fridge for longer than 30 minutes if needed, that's totally fine. But about 15 minutes before you pull it out of the fridge and before you scoop it, you'll want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Once that's preheated, we can go ahead and start scooping out our cookie dough. I like to use a cookie dough scoop to portion out my dough, and we're going to use about 2 tablespoons of dough per cookie. You can just drop the cookies directly onto the baking sheet and cook them that way, but to make them look nice and round when they're finished baking, I like to just gently roll them between my hands to give them a rounder shape. And we'll place these on our baking sheet about 2 inches apart. And as you can see, I've lined my cookie sheet with parchment paper. That's just to make cleanup easier. If you don't have parchment paper, just put the cookies directly on an ungreased cookie sheet. We'll bake these cookies in our 350 degree Fahrenheit preheated oven for about 12 minutes. Now the center should still seem a little bit underdone when they come out of the oven. You're going to let them cool completely on the baking sheet, and that's where they're going to finish cooking up in the center without over baking and becoming dry. So that is all there is to making these fun, colorful Funfetti cookies. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe, and if you try it out, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey, if you guys enjoyed today's Funfetti cookie recipe, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, if you enjoyed today's cookie recipe, here are a few other recipes you might like as well.